For retrieval, it's about bringing the information out of your long-term memory into your working memory and then finally into your paper, into your test paper or exam paper, the answer sheet. How I mean. Now, if an information is not found in your head, if you cannot retrieve it, there are two reasons. You see, that is not, it was never in your head, or is in your head but you don't know where you kept it. That's just the two reasons if you cannot remember an information. So your first task is to ensure that it is in your head, and I told you how. Ingredients of remembering. Remember ingredient of remembering? I told you 15 things you can add to an information to be able to remember it. Any of those ingredients is fine and it's okay, but if you use more than one, it makes it more memorable and retrievable. Now, there are information you have currently in your head, in your long-term memory, that you did not plan to have it there, but it's there. They don't appear in your long-term memory because you crammed it. You did it without knowing all these things I've been talking since. How? You know bag? Yes. Do you know gas? You know gas. You know clothes. You know car. You know plane, right? You know green. You know red. All those things are long-term memory. You won't be able to forget it for your life. There are experiences you will never forget, and the funny thing is that you did not memorize it for it to be there. You did not encode it, yet it is there. Those memories have stayed long enough in your long-term memory that they are now called memories. It means they are now citizens of the kingdom called memory. When they become memories, they become places where you can store information to. The greatest system hack is what I want to tell you. Now, if you understand this thing, your life have changed. Those memories that you have, those things you can identify that is in your fingertips, those things are actually places you can keep things, because they are called memories now. It means they have become a place where you can store an information. This is where the pegging system comes in. You understand? When you peg something, you pick what you already know with what you don't know, you join them together. Once you join them together, that's when you have strong memory. Now, let's assume you're trying to identify factors affecting metabolism of drug, protein binding. For example, how would you memorize protein binding? You don't know what is binding, you don't know what is protein, and you don't want to forget it. You understand it, but you keep on forgetting. How will you keep that kind of information in your head? Very simple. You link it with something you already know. Do you know beans? You know beans. You know beans stays longer in your stomach. Is that true? So you just attach protein binding to beans. In that way, you won't be able to forget it. So remember factors affecting metabolism. Okay, metabolism is about digestion, similar to digestion. Just take it that way, right? It's about transforming something. So beans stays longer in your stomach. Okay, so and it's protein binding. Did you see it? Now that beans becomes a location. You can just peg that information to that place. So when you want to remember something, now you just have to remember the beans. You don't have to remember the protein binding. You want to remember beans, you remember what it is attached to. That is how it works. So how do you retrieve an information? Number one, practice recall. Do you understand? To make the link strong, that pathway you pass in order to remember something, you practice it. What do you want to remember? Keep on recalling it. If you keep on doing that, you won't forget it. It will become part of you, literally. The reason why bag is in your head because you see bag every day. The reason why rice is in your head because you see it every day, every time. Do you understand? Next one is spaced repetition. Why is spaced repetition important? It's because of forgetting curve. Simple. It means you tend to forget an information with time. So if you learn something today, you don't put it into practice, you don't retrieve it, you just learned it. In the next 3 days, you will probably have less than 50% of that information. You tend to forget what you learn without practice. Do you understand? So they call it forgetting curve. It happens to everybody. So if you practice spaced repetition, you repeat that same information the next day, next 3 days, next 2 weeks, next 1 month, next 3 months, you'll be able to retrieve it. That is basically how it works. The next one I will tell you about is question trigger. Practice questions. Practice a lot of questions. The moment you get into the hall and one of those questions that you have practiced shows up in all those questions, guess what? You'll be able to answer those questions without stress. You will retrieve it 100%. You'll be shocked how much it works. Trust me, questions are good for retrieval. So if you practice more questions, you'll be able to retrieve a lot of information. The room you visit the most is the room you can remember the most. If I stay with my phone for a very long time, nobody will know that phone more than me. I will know where every information is kept. So if you visit answers, information often, guess what? You'll be able to recollect it. Now, I started with a fact called active transport concept, right? Yeah, it's a concept you can use to explain encoding and retrieval. Now, active transport is something they use in biology or physiology, where if a molecule wants to get into a cell and is not allowed into that cell, it can pair up with another molecule that has passage into that cell, and by the time they bind together, then they'll be able to enter that cell. Do you understand? Of course, plus energy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So let's assume you go for a party and then the bouncer don't allow you to enter because you don't have gate pass. Right? And then a friend of yours is invited and it's like VIP. Do you know if that friend say, "Come on, let's go," that bouncers will not stop you? You know why? Because your friend has passage, so he can hold your hand and bring you into that place. That is exactly how memory works. There's a lot of information you have in your head currently that are in your long-term memory, and they have passage into your long-term memory as often as they want. You just have to link what is unknown with what you already know, and then those two information will literally enter into your long-term memory. Does it make sense? That is how you practice encoding, storage, and retrieval. Yes. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to get more content on memorizing. Well, we'll still continue. Don't forget, I'll teach you about how to memorize. I'll give you 10 memorization tools you can use in any subject. I will tell you which kind of information you can memorize with those tools. So please stay tuned and I will do that soon. Thank you.